Good morning, Story Trading VIPs. How you doing? Hope you had a great weekend. We got a lot to talk about this morning, and hopefully we'll put in another great morning of market predictions and focus lists. And really, what we're trying to do here is make sense out of markets based on the four pillars. And remember, markets are not chaotic. Markets are not inefficient. Markets make sense when you analyze them based on the four pillars of sentiment, catalyst, technicals, and fundamentals. And when you go out of your way to take that extra effort to understand all these market participants and what they're thinking based on these four pillars, you can become a better trader. So we do that every single morning. I think we're doing a great job of it. Right off the bat this morning, you can see TLT versus SPY QQQ, right? We've been talking about this for weeks, and I think we identified the change in behavior. And since we identified it, we've been spot on. Now, TLT is no longer an indicator of risk. TLT now is acting like it used to back in the old days, right? Before this crazy year, where it's basically inverse of the market because it's a flight to safety. We're seeing that continuing with TLT. TLT up 0.5% this morning, both QQQ down 0.5% and ARC down 1%. So that's the behavior for now. We don't have our little cheat code because when it was moving with the markets, it often did it several hours before the market. It used to be like an early morning indicator of what the market would do in the afternoon. We don't have that cheat code now, but it may come back, right? It depends where the market concern is. The market concern has shifted from high inflation and interest rates to earnings recession. And that's why now TLT is acting like it normally has in the past. So with that said, let's look at SPY and QQQ. And you can see right now, really this move down doesn't mean much. If you put it in context of the 5-day chart, we're right in between the candle, Friday's candle. So, not much to read into this, like, oh my gosh, it's going to be a down day or something like that. No, not really. You can't really make that prediction for where it's going to end up. Same with QQQ. It's just basically holding where it was on Friday. So then we got to move in to that daily chart and take a look at the big picture with the daily moving averages at the 20 DMA and the 200 DMA. And frankly, we're stuck right in the middle. It can go either direction. Same with QQQ, although QQQ looks like it wants to test the bottom. It's a little bit closer to that, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, a couple other things I want to draw to your attention. Again, it is actually Monday, November 21st. It's a short Thanksgiving week. So remember, Thursday, the markets are closed completely, and Friday, they close at 1 p.m. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because historically, at least the last few years that we've been doing this here at Story Trading, this is the first year we have the show, but the last few years, you should know that we've had crazy volatility starting right after Thanksgiving, sometimes right on Q1 Black Friday or the following Monday. Crazy volatility, usually in a bad way, right? But not necessarily. We'll see. I don't know if someone can pull up the history of the charts after Thanksgiving and right through the end of January. So we're entering a period of time. Part of that may have to do with tax loss selling. Part of it may have to do with the retail sales data coming through from Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday. But there's a lot of dynamics there that causes extreme volatility into year end and the first month of the year. So beware of that. And honestly, I would advise being a little more cautious with swing and long-term positions, maybe having a little bit of a hedge, maybe having a bigger cash position going into this season. So we'll have to see. And some of the technical traders I follow, like Rex and Avi for the Elliott Wave trade analysis, and some other people I'm on a panel with, they're looking for further upside before it goes down, right? So they're looking for these targets to hit at these higher DMAs on SPY QQQ before we have our move down. So it could be a volatile time before we get those crazy moves to the downside. We'll see. All right. Now, other thing we got to bring to your attention for this week. Well, there is Fed Minutes Wednesday. For the next Fed meeting at this point, or CPI print. But Bitcoin, you can see Bitcoin's down 3%. The whole crypto market is having some sort of meltdown, which is reminding me of 2008, 2009. There's contagion happening in the crypto industry. You can see also people are wondering, can that contagion go from the crypto space into regular equities or other assets? So that's something to be aware of and watch the news, pay attention to what's going on over there. I bumped into someone who works at a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund yesterday, just randomly in the store. I mean, I knew the guy, but actually I didn't even know what he did. And I started talking to him, and I learned that he is involved with managing billions of dollars, and they have 30 million exposure to something that is indirectly exposed to TX. What is it? TRX? I don't even know that exchange, the crypto exchange, which failed. I think it's TRX. I don't know. But anyway, but he said that's going to impact. They're expecting that to have contagion to another crypto asset class, and they're expecting to basically lose the $30 million, which is a drop in the bucket for them. So that's interesting that this contagion is really taking hold in the crypto space, something to keep an eye on. Now, let's get to individual stocks. Individual stocks. Listen, I thought we would be talking about continuation in Clearfield this morning, and it's on our list. We'll get to it. But there was some big, huge news last night. Disney, okay? Disney, when I saw this news, I immediately went in the room. I said 98 target, and I hope it doesn't gap open that high. Well, it surpassed the 98 target, and now it's at 171. Where did I get that 98 target? Well, it was about 98.44. That's the 20 DMA. And this morning in pre-market already went to the next target, the 50 DMA, at a little over 100. Now, pre-market extended hours are inefficient. Those of you who follow my philosophy on efficiency and inefficiencies, extended market hours are inefficient. So I am hoping that we can get a pullback once the efficient market kicks in, or all the big players come in at 9:30 a.m. Maybe we can get a pullback here, but this is hard to play. And I said it last night. I said if this gaps to 98 plus, well, that's a much harder play. I was hoping we'd get a gap to 95, 96, and we can play to the 20 DMA or possibly the 50 DMA. But whoa, by the way, what's the news here? Bob Iger is returning, right? old CEO coming back. And anytime you have a CEO shakeup like that and the old founder comes back, that's a huge sentiment booster. Man, we even had an analyst come in and upgrade the stock this morning with a $120 price target right there. Moffitt Nathanson, okay? This tells you, even the professionals, how much they value sentiment. And sometimes they don't say it straight out, but it's in the assumptions in their financial modeling. There's so many assumptions in the financial modeling, and the sentiment makes all the difference in the world in regards to price targets and assumptions of growth and assumptions of PE ratios the market's going to reward it with. A lot of that has to do with sentiment. So sentiment just turned really good for Disney, at least for the short term. And then you move to the technicals and say, hey, it's going to break the 20 and 50. It already has. Maybe there's a play here if you can get on pullbacks. Can this swing to the next levels? Now, the 200 DMA way up here, that may be too high to look too ambitious, because I see some candles and some resistance here first. So you see this candle and this candle, the top of these two candles kind of match at 108. So 108 right there, previous support becomes resistance, right? So 108 to me seems like the next major resistance if it's going to open at these levels. And if that $100 50 DMA holds, perhaps this can swing to 108. And I guess let's not think about the target above it just yet right now. But pretty ambitious to think, this already went up $8. We're calling for possibly another $8. Maybe the market has to cooperate for that. I'm not sure this can buck the market trend. If the market goes down sharply the rest of the week, if that happens to happen, play out, 108 is going to seem tough to me. But if the market cooperates and this 50 DMA holds, you got to say 108 is the next target. So that's the story with Disney. Now, MBLY, this has been on our watch list for a while. We did that show with IPO Candy, Chris Tuttle. We got a $25 fundamental floor he gave us when the thing IPO'd. Look, bounced right off the $25, right? Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Story trading method. You combine all the pillars. $25. Unbelievable. So $25 bounced off that fundamental level he identified where he thought the stock would be cheap. Now, why am I bringing it up today? I guess the quiet period's over for all of these firms, and we had 1 million price targets come out this morning. We have 34, we have 35, we have 40, we have 50, we have 41, we even have a 72 somewhere in here. 72, okay? I think it was Citi. 77, Citigroup, 77. Way above where the stock is trading now. And we know the sentiment for this sector is very, very, very hot. Whoa, look at this nice little W pattern possibly forming here on this chart on the 5-day. So I like MBLY a lot as a long-term investment. I like it as swing trades, trying to pick up the support levels. I did pick up some this morning at $29.03, hoping to get a boost out of all these major price targets. Now you're going up against slightly down at this point. I think, I think Disney is probably, what's the market cap of Disney? 163 billion. Okay, I'm not sure how much it's impacting SPY. It definitely has a little bit of an impact at 163 billion. But in any case, I was going to say potentially all of these upgrades this morning. The reason I jumped on this one was because, well, we already know the story. We like the fundamentals at 25, right? And we have a clear target with a good catalyst. We have a clear target that it can challenge 31 again in the 31s, right? So I'm like, all right, maybe this one can buck the market trend in case the market does stay red or go sharper red today or tomorrow. So that's why I liked MBLY and I picked it up at 29.03 this morning. All right, besides that, a few other things to talk about. PRVB, there was news, as I was saying last week. Listen, I'm not playing this because I'm not clear on the fundamentals, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did. A bunch of price targets came out this morning. And the average price target's in the low 20s, like 4 different price targets came out. All right. And it's like most of them are around $19, $20. There's one at $25, right? I don't necessarily trust those ratings, though, because there's something going on with the financing I don't fully understand, and I didn't have time to research it. So if you guys have time to figure out what their obligations are going to be to third parties, what kind of money may be coming in as a result of this drug getting approved. But I will tell you headline-wise, we did say that it's going to be all over the newspapers this weekend, and it was. There are lots and lots of articles about this, about the first treatment for type 1 diabetes ever, first preventative treatment. It's a big deal. It really is a big deal. So I really can't have a strong opinion on this, but it's something to watch. And if someone can figure out what the fundamental issue is with their balance sheet and money and all that, then let us know. All right, time to talk a little bit DWAC RUM. I thought it was done with DWAC. Damn it, keeps coming back. So Trump back on Truth. So Trump got reinstated back on Twitter, but he's not using it. So there's a lot of interesting dynamics here. And the timing of this was a surprise, right? It came over the weekend. Elon Musk did the poll, and he won 52% is back, right? So you can see DWAC's down this morning, and that initial reaction is, oh, well, who needs Truth Social anymore if Trump's going back to Twitter? And that's why it's down. But we dug up some interesting things where Trump actually has an obligation to post to Truth Social 6 hours, I think it is, before he posts to any other sites. Now, it's not a strict obligation. There are workarounds. He said there can be exceptions for personal messaging and even political messaging. I mean, there's a whole host of exits out there that he can lean on if he wanted to. But still, I don't think he's going to be chomping at the bit to piss off all his investors. So I think there may be a strategy that Trump and team may be trying to put together to perhaps use Twitter as a funnel to maybe post official messages on Twitter, but the more fun unofficial messages, who knows, on Truth, or to, or in any case, if it's posted 6 hours later, people who want it first, maybe they come to Truth. I'll tell you this, a lot of people were exposed to Truth Social this weekend who never heard about it. I was on multiple spaces hearing about this reinstatement of Trump, and there was several people I heard talking about DWAC. What's DWAC? Truth Social? What are you guys talking about? So it's actually, Truth Social is getting more press this weekend than they've ever gotten because of what's going on. So there's the possibility. Now, I don't like the fundamentals here long term because I don't think Truth Social will succeed as anything more than like a niche fan site for Trump. But also because DWAC might not even be able to merge with Truth Social. We keep having to repeat this, right? That vote is in jeopardy. There may be a trade here based on sentiment and technicals. And if you're going to play it, that red line right here, that 50 DMA, it held a couple days ago. The low was 1923 there. Maybe it's a little lower today. That may be a support level, or maybe it bounces right off the 20 DMA. So I think this is kind of the hidden story. The obvious move is down, right? The superficial move is down because he's not going to need Truth Social. But the second level thinking may kick in, and the smarter traders may be like, this is an opportunity to bid up the stock. That might happen with DWAC today. I'm personally not trading it, but I know a lot of people like to trade that. So just letting you know my analysis on it. My analysis on RUM is even RUM is really going to benefit Rumble from this now ecosystem. It wasn't, by the way, only Donald Trump. Project Veritas came back last night. A whole bunch of other people are slowly coming back onto Twitter. And guess what? When they link, they're going to be linking to Rumble. These videos, they're not allowing them to be published on YouTube, right? So they're going to be linked on Rumble. Imagine when Trump does eventually post something on Twitter, which he will at some point, and let's say it's just official announcements. It's like, hey, I'm going to have a rally at such and such a place. Guess what? He's going to link to a Rumble link. This is really good for Rumble. This gives me confidence about these $5 to $6 fundamental level holding. And it gives me confidence to be really aggressive selling puts on this stock with effective prices, purchase prices down there. The yields are insane. If we're right about this range, if we're right that Rumble will trade in a volatile range between 5 and 15 and not really break above 5 or break above 15 for the next year, you could just sell puts on this all year long and nothing else and probably almost triple your money this year. That's how crazy the premiums are on this, and I think they're going to remain high. So that's an interesting story if you get it right. Now, you got to be careful. You got to diversify because we may be wrong, right? Now, let's move on. We have YTRA Online. This is a stock that fundamentally, Matt Kolb has been telling us about it for a long time. Matt Kolb's been telling us about YTRA for a long time, about an IPO coming to India. And finally, I think there was a catalyst on Friday that IPO is happening. I don't really see it in my newsfeed, but he shared a Seeking Alpha article. He's looking for like a $4 minimum target on this in the near term over the next 6 weeks as it approaches that India IPO. Now, at the same time, conveniently, Rex, who had no idea that YTRA was even discussed in story trading, posted on Friday that this is just the beginning of the run. He's like, I don't know why people are selling. He's telling people on social media. This has at least another 80 cents in it. And when I combine, again, story trading, we're combining the technical and we're combining the fundamentals from two different people that's where their expertise are in this stock. So I jumped into YTRA when I saw that at the end of the day, didn't get a good price. I don't know. I must have seen Rex's message late. But in any case, I'm in that. I'm swinging that, and we'll see if we can get $4 out of it. And here's RSI at 60. And if you pull back to the 5-year chart, you can kind of see $3.80 to $4 looks like the next resistance level if it can break this little congestion zone right here. We're very close to it, right? What is it? $3. So if this breaks above $3, I think that, it makes sense that would be a trade. Who knows if it's right, but we got to play the odds, right? And the odds are going with Rex and Matt Kolb on the technicals and fundamentals and a break above 3, taking it to 380. So that's a swing trade I'm playing right now, YTRA. Clearfeld, awesome week last week. We're going to win the Trade of the Week competition today with Wolf Financial Spaces. Thank you again, Chris Tarbert, for that. Needham came out, $135 price target. Probably a little softer than I'd like, so we'll have to see. I really still think we're going to be challenging that 52-week high just based on the fact that, hey, this earnings report is so much better than the last one. So, shouldn't you at least be where you were at the peak, prior to this report? So I think that's my logic for making a challenge of maybe this peak, 125 to 128, right? And then we'll have to see from there. Maybe it pulls back. Maybe it pulls back before eventually getting to those 150 to 200 levels a year from now after they put in more quarters of success. So Clearfeld, great pick, great play, great long-term pick for your portfolio. Thank you, Chris and Eric, for the collaboration in the rooms on that. I want to point out CTMX. I think this chart is still setting up great for a move to $2 at that 200 DMA swing target after the Regeneron contract. This is everything. You got the sentiment, you got the catalyst, you got the technicals, you got the fundamentals with the 30 million cash coming in and up to $2 billion in royalties over time and milestone payments. So I like this till 2. We could be wrong. Got to play the odds. CTLP, Cantaloupe. I'm starting to like this for a possible break over 350. I talked about this. This is a VIP pick that, Mark Gumbs presented a few times. 50 DMA is right at $3.50. And I like that the RSI is relatively low. And, there are some nuggets about positive developments happening there with Subway using their machines. Maybe put it all together and you can handicap the odds that this will break 350, right? A pure technical trader will be like, I'm just looking at technicals. I sell at resistance, right? A story trader puts it together with catalysts and fundamentals and says, there's a better than 50% chance we break 350 and make a move to $4 right there. So that's a swing play for me as well, CTLP. I really like how ADM is setting up this morning there's something going on. Maybe there's an analyst covering it or something that we'll find out about later. But ADM, I've been holding this for a while. It's going nicely up to 20 DMA. I'm waiting for this to break out and challenge that high and hit a new high of 105. That's my target. And right now, it looks like it's going well. Tonight, XXII, 4:30 p.m. on Zoom, live only, no recording. Get into the app. Join us at 4:30 p.m. We are interviewing someone who's been very close to the company for a very, very long time, since the IPO days, who knows all the ins and outs, who knows all the CEOs who have been there, who knows all the skeletons in the closet, who knows all the opportunities coming up. This is going to be epic, important, and join us 4:30 p.m. We'll talk more about XXII. And with that, I'm out of here, guys. If you are not yet part of the StoryTrading community, you can get a 7-day free trial hopping on to StoryTrading.com, and then you can join us for all of these events. And I will see you in the chat rooms. Thank you for joining, and thank you for your support and your likes and your retweets and everything else to help our community grow. Have a great day.